It is a 300-year-old Detroit tradition involving hundreds of people in crazy costumes and one very evil red demon.
And every year, Detroiters get together during the first official weekend of spring to drive the Nain Rouge out of town.
This is We Bleed Orange and Black, the podcast for Halloween and horror lovers. Join us as we interview creators, discuss our favorite horror, and share original spooky stories. I'm Jeff C. Carter. This week, we're talking with Leslie Cieplechowicz about Detroit's Spring Folk Festival, the Marche du Nain Rouge. Leslie Cieplechowicz is a photographer who developed her craft by working the streets of Detroit as a paramedic and shooting old historical buildings she found on her runs. Her love of creating unique imagery led her across the state, then the United States, and then globally, documenting lively cultures, friendly people, classic automobiles, and ornate architecture. She currently works as an instructor and spreads her love of photography to her students. Her book, Detroit Revealed, A Different View of the Motor City, features obscure and amazing gems of the city, which is sometimes portrayed as unapproachable. Leslie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Here's an icebreaker question. So you've been spending time in the Upper Peninsula lately?
I have.
Have you encountered the legend of Heikki Lunta?
No, I have not. What is that?
Heikki Lunta is a snow god in the folklore of the Upper Peninsula created by the Finnish American population there. In the 1970s, this character was created to help promote a snowmobile race. The Heikki Lunta snow dance song,
"We gotta have some snow by the 4th of December. Heikki Lunda, make it snow," say all the Range Club members.
just sort of an obscure thing from the Upper Peninsula that you might encounter in the winter.
Oh, that's really cool.
I know that you have written or are in the process of writing a series about Michigan.
Yeah, Detroit Revealed, Different View of the Motor City came out about 2 years ago. Michigan Revealed, Exploring the Thumb Region came out at the end of 2024. And for 2025, Detroit Revealed, another look at the Motor City. It should be hitting the shelves. I'm also working on an Upper Peninsula book, which is why I was up there.
And you've been traveling around the world as well.
Yes, I have. The last place I went was to the Czech Republic in Poland. I have a Polish background, hence the name. And I thought it would be really interesting just to go to my homeland. And next week, I am going to Brussels, Belgium, and to London, England.
Wow. You wrote a great article on the Marche du Nain Rouge. So I just wanted to have you on since it is about that time in Detroit. Would you mind going over some of the history of the legend?
The legend began, Cadillac was the founder of the city of Detroit, and he was at a party in Quebec, and a fortune teller told him that he would meet the Nain Rouge, this demon, and he needed to give this demon respect, or he would be cursed. And so he went from Quebec, and he came to Michigan, and he established the city of Detroit. And then the legend has it, one night he ran into the Nain Rouge. Instead of being respectful and welcoming him to the city, he hit the demon with the cane and told him to get out of his territory. Since then, the Nain Rouge has been creating problems with the city for the last couple hundred years. So the parade is held yearly to drive the demon from the city. I went to photograph the parade for my book. We all gathered at 2nd Avenue near Midtown. Everybody is costumed in black and red, and they look scary. Some of the costumes get really wild, and everybody meets around the stage. A speaker comes on and gives the history of the parade. When I was there, there was performers, there was dancers, which gets the crowd in a very excited, jovial mood. And then they introduce the demon. And the demon comes out on stage. They begin to taunt the audience and throw curses at them and mock them.
I am the legendary Nain Rouge of Detroit, the harbinger of doom, the living embodiment of everything that holds Detroit back, the Red Prince of Persecution, Cadillac Folly, the annihilator of hope, the architect of Detroit despair, and the author of your
And the crowd is booing. They're getting upset, but that's all part of the festivities. Then the demon hops off the stage and starts running down 2nd Avenue towards the Masonic Temple. Everybody follows, and that's the parade. And then once the demon gets to the Masonic Temple, he takes the stage again and once again curses everybody. A couple of the parade goers will come and grab the demon off the stage.
Do they still burn an effigy?
When I was there last year, they did not.
Traditionally, they chase the Nain Rouge out of town and burn him in effigy. Any idea how this got going as a spring festival?
It is the first Sunday after the vernal equinox.
I know there's a lot of other folk festivals where people welcome spring and or banish winter by burning some kind of figure in effigy and expelling all the bad luck or all the bad times so they can start anew in spring.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing at the parade. By getting rid of the demon, they are getting rid of the bad luck for the beginning of spring.
From what I've seen online, this is a very homegrown grassroots parade. The costumes and the performances and the music all seems to be very local. How has this impacted the community in terms of art, tourism, things like that?
It brings people to the city for the parade from all over. It gets people out of the house because it's the beginning of spring and, you're tired of being indoors, you're tired of being cooped up. But like you said, it's very homegrown. It's kind of word of mouth. They advertise it maybe in 1 or 2 spots. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you can easily miss it. So it is really grassroots local community that over the years has built outward through word of mouth.
Since you are a Detroiter and this is a Halloween podcast, we can't not talk about Devil's Night.
Do you know what they got now? Devil's Night greeting cards. Isn't that precious?
Oh, so Devil's Night takes place the night before Halloween. I actually, when I was younger, I participated in Devil's Night where you TP'd somebody's house or, you went out, rang their doorbells. But in Detroit, it became more insidious where people started lighting buildings on fire. There were a lot of abandoned houses. And so it wasn't just kids getting out of hand wild. It could be like people in the neighborhood where you had this abandoned house. It was attracting drug activity. It was attracting unsavory characters, and they would set the houses on fire. The problem with that is the houses can be close together in the neighborhoods. So when one house caught on fire, multiple houses could catch on fire. And it got really bad. The fire department would dread it, Detroit Fire Department, because it would be like one of the busiest days of the year. And it was risky for everybody. It wasn't risky just for the homeowner. If the fire departments are going in and trying to save some of these houses or trying to put them out, they're decayed, you don't know what's in there. People would throw trash in there. There can be tires, there can be old chemicals. So it really became a problem. Devil's Night because Detroit would essentially be lit up.
I like the pretty lights.
So were you saying that vagrants would light the houses on fire, or people in the neighborhood would try to get rid of crack houses and flops by burning them down on Devil's Night?
It could be both. And you're like, well, why would you light a house in your own neighborhood? Because they weren't getting the city to tear the buildings down.
Right.
Some of the neighborhoods, you would have 2 to 3 residents, and then there would be 8 abandoned homes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so particularly on the east side. Finally, the city got a handle on it and they started tearing it down. Now you will go into some areas of Detroit and it will just be an empty field. It will just be a block, a whole block, and it's just an empty field now with one active house on it.
So Devil's Night is not quite as apocalyptic now?
No, I haven't really heard too much about it. They really cracked down on it.
So Leslie, what projects are you working on next?
The Detroit Revealed, another look at the Motor Cities, coming out next year. I just finished that. I'm also working on a book about the Upper Peninsula. So cool spots in the Upper Peninsula that you can visit. I also have resurrected a fantasy book that I wrote because it got kind of put aside when I had kids and a family. I'm working on editing that and sending it out to agents.
Excellent. Where can our listeners find you online?
You can find me at 4amphotography.com, and on social media, I'm at 4am Photography Detroit. The photography class I teach in affiliation with Schoolcraft College. If they want to learn about photography, they can take classes through the college.
Leslie, thank you for hanging out with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe and follow. We're now on YouTube. Links are in the show notes. You can find me at jeffccarter.com and hit the link to pick up my collection, We Bleed Orange and Black, 31 fun-sized tales for Halloween. Until next time, stay spooktacular.
Better wait a minute. You better hold the phone. Better mind your manners. If I change my tone, you still can't ignore me. I'm Detroit's downfall. We're gonna do things my way, or we won't do things